It is Tuesday, the first day of November 2022. Hello there and welcome to our first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. First, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, Parliament demands report on UPF resource allocation. Police has leads to their silence who attacked Busika police post in Luwero district. 4 dead, 37 admitted in critical condition in Gulu City accident. And in sports, Uganda takes on Kenya in a Pool B decider rugby game. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming live to you online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. In sign language, it is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Rukiidi Kaiijanagoma. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has today received and held discussions with the Ambassador of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, His Excellency Sharif Khalid at State House Nakasero. During the meeting, the President and the Algerian Ambassador discussed areas of mutual cooperation between the two brotherly countries, focusing on trade and agriculture. President Museveni welcomed the ambassador and Algeria's interest in investing and buying Ugandan milk. In the same meeting, General Museveni and the ambassador also agreed to speed up the legal framework to fast-track the already existing cooperation between the two countries. The meeting was also attended by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, that is in charge of regional affairs, Honorable John Mulimba, among other officials. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has met Kampala Capital City Authority leaders and some of the market representatives over the leadership and management of markets in Kampala and the metropolitan areas. During the meeting held at State House Nakasero, the President guided that these markets should be owned and managed by the low-income earners instead of being taken by the rich, who in turn charge high fees from the wananchi. The meeting follows the President's directive on harmonization of issues affecting the common people in the informal sector and in Kampala and the surrounding areas. President Museveni also suggested to KCCA to have 2 government-owned markets and taxi parks in each of the divisions of Kampala, with an emphasis that they should be occupied and managed by the wananchi. He said that both logic and as well as legal standing in addressing the market challenges in the country should be applied. In order for the government to come up with a conclusive solution to informal sector and market challenges, the President tasked the Prime Minister to coordinate all different stakeholders and come up with a final solution in addressing the challenges. There have been challenges in the informal sector stemming from mismanagement, ownership, policy and regulation, among others. Prime Minister Robina Nabanja thanked the President for his efforts in always fighting for the common person. She pledged to work with all the stakeholders in finding a lasting solution to the market challenges. The meeting was attended by the State Minister for Kampala, Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs, Honorable Kabuye Chofa Togabye, the local government minister, Honorable Rafael Magezi, the KCCA Executive Director, Dorothy Kisaka, the Kampala Resident City Commissioner, Amina Lukanga, and Salim Uhuru, the Kampala Central Division Mayor, among others. Police has leads to the assailants that attacked Busika police post where 2 officers were shot dead and 2 guns stolen. Ivan Kawa reports that special teams remain on ground to investigate the matter.
Uganda Police Force is investigating unknown assailants who attacked Busika police station and killed 2 police officers on 31st October 2022. The station is located at a busy spot where many locals were present at the time the police post was attacked. Eyewitnesses say the attackers masked their faces during the attack, while police preliminary findings indicate that the assailants were 7.
They managed to kill 2 of our staff, that is Inspector Wagaruka and PC Ogol. And in the same process, 2 of our other staff were injured. They are undergoing treatment at Mulago Hospital, and also 1 other woman who is a civilian was injured during that shootout.
Kikanga tosobola bategeera naye nga abamu batambula bagaludde ne mundu abamu nga badda kyennyuma nnyuma abalala batambula batunula mu maaso okulaba ani ali amabega ani ali mu maaso. Salabye face ya muntu obula nalabye omuvubuka yabadde ambadde ovolo ya black yabadde akuba amasasi wabula sasobodde mulaba ku face ku lw'entiisa yabaddewo.
Police calls for calm among the local community as it handles the matter.
Look like
we have the capacity to respond to any sort of crime. However, some of these attacks are surprise attacks. Like this, in case it was a surprise attack, so the reaction was really not to the satisfaction.
2 guns belonging to the officers were taken by assailants, but nothing was taken from the neighborhood.
Omuntu jomu yagambye wa mobile money galawo naye ng'omuntu gy'oli tasobola tegeerekeka yabadde yeesabise n'agamba galawo yingiza na bano banno yagala bafiire ebweru nga tebasobola tegeerekeka mu maaso naye obulumbaganyo obwo kigambibwa bwabadde tebuzze kkosa muntu bwabadde bulumbye poliisi kugibbako mundu.
Mukwogerako okwo kyogamba abatujju bano babadde bakozesa lulimi Luganda.
Abatujju babadde bakozesa lulimi Luganda.
Uganda Police Force confirms that it has gotten leads using CCTV cameras to track down criminals who shot dead 2 police officers at Busika police station.
And we have already had some evidence. We assure the public that very soon we shall have to arrest these people. I would like to urge the local communities to remain vigilant and let them not lose hope. Very soon the police station is going to be reopened.
At least 4 police posts have been attacked since they have begun, 6 police officers killed, guns robbed in a similar manner. The attacks are attributed to the Uganda Coalition for Change Rebels group, whose ringleader, Semwogerere Frank David, was charged in the General Court Martial. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News, in Busika.
And we do hope the police will really get the assailants. Now, business in Kampala Business Center is normal, although operators seem reluctant over the Ebola prevention measures. UBC TV was at some of the busy places within Kampala that include markets, taxi parks and business center commonly known as Chikubo to assess compliance to Ebola control. We have this report.
We urge the Ministry of Health to come and give people more education about Ebola.
Although the deadly Ebola virus disease has hit Kampala district, at Nakasero market, the hand-washing machine is in place, as although people are still reluctant to wear face masks. Enforcement for the public also seems relaxed. The Public Relations Officer of the market, Mlata Ali, says a few things have been put in place to maintain the standard operating procedures.
Tufuba nnyo okulaba nti twewala omugalo guleme kujja nga tuyita mu kubiriza abantu baffe beekuume obulwadde buno
At the Old Tax Park, the enforcement team is encouraging the public to wash hands before accessing the park. They urged government to provide them with face masks to be able to prevent the spread of the virus.
Abla tusaba government yetu yange amaziga gano makalo tumulisa mukoni twagala abantu bayiko kunaba mu ngalo balina teziriwo mask abantu badde balowooza nti obulwadde bwabwo bwakendera naye kamwa koogera sigina ku budde.
We had Ebola in 2000 and it affected Ugandans so much, more especially in the districts of Gulu, Luero and Imbarara, where we lost so many doctors like Dr. Lukuya. But government never thought about lockdown. They used it as a measures to stop the spread of Ebola.
At the main business center, commonly known as Chikuwo, the hand washing equipment was there, but unutilized by the public. Wearing of face masks in the business center seems to have stopped, as business seems usual despite the escalating cases of Ebola virus disease.
All people from Kampala and the surrounding areas to take caution and precaution to make sure that we don't encourage more spreading of Ebola.
Jane Ramcha reporting for UBC.
Educational institutions have been urged to pursue the school calendar until Cabinet guides schools in the situation where there is an increase in Ebola cases in Kampala City and suburbs. A State Minister for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Muyingo, also urges school heads to adhere to guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health in preventing the spread of Ebola virus disease.
Schools in Kampala and suburbs have tightened up measures to reduce the spread of Ebola among learners. They say they do not want to see schools closed again as a result of Ebola because the COVID-19 lockdown affected their operations and performance of learners.
Term short, which I think is going to affect the learners' behavior. It might also affect it is going to affect the teaching syllabus coverage.
Killer diseases. We have to be careful in order to protect ourselves. When one is affected, chances of survival are minimal. So with that information spread to them and sensitization carried on both here at school and sent to their parents, we feel we can manage this challenge.
State Minister for Education John Chrysostom Muyingo urges schools and learners not to panic because closing schools or cutting the term short has to be a cabinet decision.
Not to panic. There is no serious need to panic. We are working very closely with the Ministry of Health. And as soon as there is need to change the school program or the calendar of the Ministry of Education and Sports, definitely Cabinet will have to look at the matter. And as
visiting days were suspended as per the Ministry of Education circular, and school heads need to comply.
Before a student leaves home to go to school, check his temperature, check his health. If he's sickly or is sick, don't dare send the child to school. Make sure that the child, before he leaves home going to school, is healthy.
The head teacher Kololo High School, Hajat Amina Mukasa Buyenza, says they were given health workers with temperature guns, while at Bat Valley temperatures of learners and teachers are recorded with the Ministry of Health.
Especially to report the contacts, because we don't stay with this. That's the biggest challenge. We don't stay with these kids, and so it will mainly be up to the kid to identify a contact person and avoid that person.
The Ministry of Health directly every day we take temperatures of children in classes. This time we also added more temperature guns because we had the previous ones that we had acquired during COVID time.
Kampala Capital City Authority, working with village health teams, has sensitized the school administrators and parents on the dangers of Ebola. Hajat Amina, however, says she's challenged with funds to buy things for prevention because this term's capitation fund was not disbursed.
The district has failed to ensure that we get that money, and this money would be very useful in the fight against what? Ebola, the detergents.
Students sitting Uganda Certificate of Education examinations are almost completing. Then those for primary will follow 2 days. Then students sitting Advanced Certificate of Examinations will start and end early December, as other learners will do examinations in last 2 weeks of the academic term. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
Now, the infection rate in Kasanda remains high due to failure by residents to comply by Ministry for Health of Health guidelines. Now, this includes the recent reburying of an infected person. Minister Ruth Acheng says that whereas the number of deaths has increased, there are no new infections in the last 2 days.
National task force, and I really must appreciate the teams on the ground, partners and Kasanda district local government. Although things are beginning to take shape slowly, but at least they are on the right track. And I want to encourage parents not to shun schools. They should allow their children to go to school and complete the term. Effort is being put in place to ensure that we have infection prevention and control materials for them to use. Temperature should be taken on a daily basis. The children should be encouraged to wash hands at all times, and the lavatories should be disinfected. But also we want the parents to understand that when their child is sick, they should not send the child to school, and any child who misses school should be reported to the authorities so that we can follow up. To date, we have 129 cumulative confirmed cases, out of which 33 succumbed, and we have about 52 undergoing treatment and 47 recoveries. The majority of the cases currently are coming from Kasanda because the people in Mubende have since understood, and they have been reporting on a frequent basis, and contact follow-up is at 100%. In Kasanda, we still have people running away from one village to another. We had the case of a body being exhumed, where we got a huge cluster of people getting infected. That means the district of Kasanda still needs a lot of risk communication for them to understand that you don't run away when you have Ebola, because you will run with it and die with it. You need to stay put and get help as soon as possible. But most importantly, we have heard today that the largest group of people that are affected are actually the youth, meaning it is the youth who are not listening to whatever information is being passed on to them. So I want to appeal to the youth. Everybody is at risk of getting Ebola. The youth, through the various activities, playing pool, watching films, interacting in the evenings, and I want to believe it was the youth that exhumed the body. So the youth, please take care of yourselves. Ebola can infect you and you can lose your life. Listen to what the health workers and the risk communicators are telling you and adhere accordingly. The earlier you report, the better the chances of survival.
The graphics there, of course, showing the situation in the country as far as Ebola virus disease is concerned. And earlier on, of course, the Health Minister, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, there telling or actually warning the youth, especially those in Kasanda, to stay put as far as exhuming bodies of people who have already been buried and they had Ebola virus is concerned. To the August House now, where Parliament wants a comprehensive report on the resource utilization by Uganda Police Force as per the budget allocation. This follows a series of queries on Uganda Police Force over increasing criminality in the country, the recent being an attack on a police station in Busika found in Luweero district. Parliament was returning from a one-month recess, as we hear in this story.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among, chaired the session of Parliament after a long recess where members had been tasked to monitor the operations of the parish development model in their respective constituencies. Speaker Anita Among informed the members of Parliament of two bills which were returned to Parliament by President Yoweri Museveni, including the Parliamentary Pension Amendment Bill 2022 and the Public Health Amendment Bill 2022, respectively. In a letter dated 13th October 2022, President Yoweri Museveni, based on advice by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, to return the Parliamentary Pension Amendment Bill 2022 with a consideration to revise on the assessment of financial implication.
Did not include the amendment of increase of the contribution to the government fund from 30 to 40.
The Kira Municipality Member of Parliament, Semu Junganda, has questioned why ministers keep advising Parliament while processing bills, but rather wait to inform President on changes.
Because bills after one another, they are being returned. The traffic now.
Parliament has condemned the Monday night attack on a police post in Busika, Luweero district, which claimed lives of 2 police officers. The deadly attacks raised lots of questions on the resources allocated to Uganda Police Forces. There are claims that police has limited patrol vehicles which hinder its operations to fight criminality.
After going to Minister of Finance, they will not receive the funds. So the police remain stuck and completely stranded in performing their mandate of keeping law and order.
The MPs want a comprehensive report on the utilization of resources allocated to Uganda Police Forces, especially the funds approved to purchase surveillance cameras.
How many were bought? Where are they located? How much was spent? Who were the suppliers? So that we know that it was done.
This house and appropriated, but you remember the first quarter across government we suffered shortfalls.
Kampala Central Member of Parliament Muhammad Nsereko tipped government to embrace modern technology in fighting crimes, including digital tracking of guns, installing facial recognition cameras, among others.
But if we embed sensors using embedded systems within the guns, if you kill a police officer and run away with the gun, at real time we don't even need a roadblock. We shall be able to see it by GPS where you've moved this gun, and we shall be able to apprehend you. Now you can see the role of technology transformation in how we can work on our day-to-day security. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, the re-registration to capture all biometrics, whether the eyes and the fingerprints, and the question should be, where is the data that we gave to NIRA?
Government will borrow about $464.13 million from Standard Chartered Bank and other finance institutions to finance the development and infrastructure budget for financial year 2022-2023. This is part of the approved budget of 48.1 trillion passed for the current financial year 2022-2023. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Honorable.
To Gulu now, and it's bad news from there, where 4 people have died on the spot as the vehicle they were traveling in knocked a wall fence along Oponya Walter Road in Gulu City. Police identified the 4 dead victims and the truck with the registration number UBF 743B, which was carrying mobile market vendors going to Gulu City from Lutuk Market in Nwaya district.
In a fatal accident at Walter Oponya Road in Gulu City, after the truck registration number UBF 743B failed to negotiate a corner as it enters the city center. The police identified the 4 dead as Rustic Odoch, age 40, Emmanuel Agaba John, age 28, Emmanuel Mwaka, 27 years, and Robert, a 32 years male.
Motor vehicle registration number UBF 743B counter. It was carrying people at the market, and it was driven by one person known as Anerika. Though this person is not yet arrested, we is still at large.
With the people of the market, we have tried clearly. Even there is a day we talked to the market administration that people should not be sitting on top of goods. But very many complaints were raised. Their goods get lost.
Bystanders at the scene of this accident told UBC that the driver only described as Anelka looked drunk.
Security is good enough to have been there. Then I've got many people there, and when the things happened, I've seen people that have broken.
We users of the road, we have a lot of problems. Definitely, police, they have given us all the guidelines how we should use the road. 1, we should not overload. 2, overspeeding. And in overspeeding, sometimes mechanical problems we may not notice. And we shall be even rushing on time. And to add on, we road users, we are very stubborn. Drinking.
The chairperson, Gulu Market vendor, Patrick Omoya, says Gulu Main Market accommodate over 4,000 vendors. 500 are mobile vendors. After the COVID-19 lockdown, the mobile vendors reallocated their loading point from Gulu City Main Market to Kaunda Ground, where they are not regulated.
MTN joins the people of Keralur to celebrate the 12th coronation anniversary of the King of Keralur, His Royal Majesty Ubim Philip Rauni III in October. At MTN, we believe that we only succeed if the communities in which we operate succeed. And so, we're happy to join the people and well-wishers of the people of Keralur in promoting social cultural programs of the Ubim.
Walego Mugisa ni Ubimu ku Keralur.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 10th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a specialized quasi-judicial body established under Section 93 of the Electricity Act to handle all civil cause disputes relating, but not limited to, regulatory disputes, billing and licensing, tariffs, power generation, transmission and distribution issues, compensation resulting from activities in the electricity sector including civil wrongs and breaches of statutory and contractual duties and consumer-related complaints. The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a special court and the first instance court that deals with electricity matters in the country. For more information, please contact the Electricity Disputes Tribunal at Amber House, Kampala Road, opposite Post Office, or call us on 041 232987.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
Benin okuva mu America.
I see a mighty move of the Holy Ghost in Uganda. In 2022.
Akaseera ka revival. Nga Uganda ejaguza emyaka 6 egy'obwetwaze obunabbi obwo obw'omusajja wa Katonda Benin obw'omwaka 2022 butuukiridde. Omwaka 2022 bwe guno okudda obujja n'okukyalirwa kwa Mukama okw'amaanyi oyaniriziddwa mu lukuŋŋaana lw'enjiri olw'okukyalirwa kwa Mukama okw'amaanyi saako ne fire conference bigenda kuba Ndejje Lubowa mu kisaawe kya NSSF 30 Oktoba paka nga 6 Novemba 2022. Fire conference yakutandika ku makya ku saa 2 eggwa ku saa 7 ku saa 9 paka saa 2 ez'ekiro ku lusedi y'amaanyi. Ababuulizi Evangelist Randy Roberts okuva mu America, Jennifer Wild okuva mu America, Reverend Dr. Robert Apia Kofi okuva e Ghana n'abaweereza bangi abafa abakuno. Suubira n'omusajja wa Mukama yalagula Benin okuva mu America. Kaseera ka revival.
Biwagiddwa Vision Group, UBC TV, BBS Telefina, Capital Radio, Star TV, Top TV Top Radio, wamu ne Kingdom Media.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. On sign language, it is Mogalo Mohammed, and I am Rukiidi Kaiijanagoma. Moving on now, Uganda will host the first court-sitting sessions of the East African Court of Justice since its inception 20 years ago. Now, this court will hear, schedule and deliver judgment in lower and appellant courts starting on the 3rd of November 2022 at the Commercial Court buildings here in Kampala.
The East African Court of Justice will hold the first court sessions in Uganda since its inception 20 years ago. The sitting of court sessions will start on 3rd November 2022 to 2nd December 2022, which will include delivery of over 9 judgments in cases filed by member states in line with the treaty.
Since tomorrow, our court will be having our session. We will start with the first division from tomorrow, and our 7th appellate division will start our session next week.
The court sessions will be held at the Commercial Court building in Kampala and will be open to the public.
But we will hear matters which have been filed by the residents from all the partner states, from Uganda, from Rwanda, from Kenya, from South Sudan, from Burundi, from all the partner states. So we have matters coming from all the partner states. Our treaty is really a well-crafted treaty which allows the citizens of the community to access the court directly without exhausting local remedies.
The principal judge, East African Court of Justice, Judge Yohani Masara, highlights on some of the cases that the lower court and the appellant court will hear and deliver judgments.
We have 21 cases. On Thursday, we have 2 matters, one coming from, I think both of them coming from the Republic of Burundi. They'll be just for scheduling, the scheduling conference. On Friday, we'll also have 2 matters. Those will also be for scheduling. One from the United Republic of Tanzania and another one from the Republic of South Sudan.
Other cases include Hassan Malema Bilizi's case against the government of Uganda, Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights against the Uganda Attorney General, and the Tanzanian case against the leaders of the East African community. The head of Commercial Court Division, Judge Stephen Mubiru, says this aims at bringing justice near to the public in the partner states.
But we also have equipment that will enable the court transact business remotely. Litigants can observe the proceedings remotely. Lawyers can engage with the court remotely, and the public as well will be able to watch and observe what is going on in court.
5 justices will preside over the cases in the lower court, and 6 will handle those in the appellant courts. Rebecca Nantongo, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
Let's now take yet another short break and return with business.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mulch Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165*77# or use the Momo app to register. Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Did you know that a cashless, secure, and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial *185*9#. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. Uganda is advised to look at the energy efficiency and e-mobility transition from a development point of view. According to LC Atafua, the United Nations Development Programme country representative, there are vast opportunities to create wealth and jobs if the country positions itself as a leader in innovations. We have more in this story.
So we have been largely technology importers. We import technology, we use. End user, we import, we use. We import, we use.
Uganda cannot afford to continue being a net consumer of innovations on the energy efficiency front, but should strive to be a supplier, argues Monica Musenero, the Minister of Science and Technology. Musenero made the observation at the E-Mobility and Energy Efficiency Conference at the Speak Resort Hotel, Munyonyo.
Whatever technology we have now, it was once very expensive. But once there is mass demand, there's a lot of demand, the cost of production goes down. So we are focusing on producing vehicles which help people move without you needing to own one. And the cost of you moving on a bus is affordable. It's much cheaper than you driving your private car. So we are trying to make means of transport which is clean, available, affordable, so that you can save that extra money and do some investment, so that when the cars, personal cars, are finally affordable, you are able to buy one.
The event, organized by UNDP, the Minister of Energy and Minerals and partners, comes at a crucial time when the world is progressively transitioning to eco-friendly sources of energy.
And we also have estimated that in the transport sector, or the transport sector contributes about a quarter of those emissions. And therefore, for us to be able to reduce our footprint, our carbon footprint, particularly in the time that in a few days Uganda and many other countries will be gathered in Egypt, Sharm el-Sheikh, to have conversations on climate change, the opportunity to go into e-mobility and talk about energy efficiency becomes very crucial in that conversation.
However, the issue that cannot be underlooked is the question of just and fair energy transition, particularly for African countries like Uganda.
We must have electricity energy supply. That one is a starting point. As we have been thinking about other fuels, similarly, the fuel for e-mobility is electricity.
As we get into e-mobility and other spaces like this, we also have to deal with the issue around fossil fuel and balance those as we move forward. And I think this conversation also comes together in many ways. So yes, we are also using this a way to say that, you know, despite the fact that the country is also pursuing that angle, it's also doing some fantastic and transformational work in that regard.
Analysts argue that it is imperative for Uganda to embrace e-mobility technologies such as electric buses and motorcycles, due to the numerous direct and indirect opportunities in terms of the country's development pathway, such as the Vision 2040 and the National Development Plan 3 implementation. Dennis Igoa and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Over 70 salon operators in Kampala metropolitan area have been awarded certified certificates confirming their professionalism in the industry at an event held in Kawempe Kazo. The event was graced by the Kampala Central Member of Parliament, Mohammed Nsereko, who challenged the graduates to exhibit professionalism while at their workstations. Robert Onyango reports.
Some years back, a section of saloon owners joined hands and formed an association aimed at retooling and equipping saloon operators on top of saving for the future.
Like nze nayigira mu downtown naye nafuba nnyo okulaba nga nnoonya omuntu anguza certificate abamu ne bampa na advice genda ku NASA.
In collaboration with the Directorate of Industrial Training, DIT, under the umbrella of Research Scaling Center, today the institute is witnessing its first ever graduation.
These people who graduated, they have their own saloons. All of them, they have their own saloons. So they came here to reskill to learn more, so they can get this certificate that we got today.
With many of its students drawn from the back end of life, especially young girls, to them this is a new beginning of once a lost hope.
Workers' Pass is a form of certification awarded by Directorate of Industrial Training and the Ministry of Education and Sports, and it is workers' practically acquired skills. So they have learnt on job. They came to recess for refresher training and then to be assessed and certified by DIT. But they are already working. They have learned, they have acquired a lot of competencies while on their jobs. So today they have acquired this skill, these competencies, and they have been awarded this certificate. So they can work anywhere because the competencies that they have acquired.
At an event held in Kazoka, Wempe, a suburb of Kampala, this was graced by the Kampala Central Member of Parliament, Mohammed Nsereko, as the chief guest.
We go to beauty parlors to calm down ourselves, to see ourselves look glowing and beautiful, to make our next day better. So these are the people that make us look nice, that make us look the better people that society wants to perceive us as. So the whole world needs them. These are some of the rare skills that other countries need. So I encourage them to continue in the same skill, but also diversify their skills to include things like information technology, which I have undertaken to help them get through, and financial literacy.
The graduates now await field work, as most of them are likely to be employed through the school's arrangement.
Sports news now, and we begin with rugby. In the Rugby Africa Women's Cup tournament, Uganda will take on Kenya in deciding a Pool B match to be played tomorrow, 2nd November 2022, at the Mutesa 2 Stadium, Wankulukuku. The Lady Rugby Cranes and the Kenya Lionesses come into this game with 2 points apiece after each defeating Zambia 36-17 in the first matches. The winner of tomorrow's game will qualify to the next round of the Rugby Africa Women's Cup and the Rugby Women's World Cup qualifiers.
The Lady Rugby Cranes and the Kenya Lionesses will go head-to-head in the final Pool B match and vie for slot in the next round of the Rugby Africa Women's Cup. Both Kenya and Uganda stand at level points after defeating Zambia 36-17 in previous games. The game set for tomorrow, 2nd November at the Mutesa 2 Stadium in Wankulukuku will also determine the winner of the Pool B tournament. Uganda's Mudola, who was very crucial in the game against Zambia and Uganda, scoring 21 points, is optimistic her team will put up a great performance tomorrow.
Kenya is going to be a tough one. We are not taking it for granted, and it's the important one. It's a very important match. It's the decider. So we are going to stick to our gameplays, and everyone sticks to their roles and do our best and produce the best result as we can.
As the Lady Rugby Cranes prepare for the best, sports analysts have weighed in on the magnitude of this game.
Well, with the trainings the ladies have gone through, I believe they'll try so much to tussle it out with the Kenyan Lioness. Matches also, we should not give them the opportunity to look down, because over the past years they've been taking us to the edge of the game. So this time around, with the preparations and new coaching technicians who are there, yeah, we believe that at least we shall be at par with the Kenyan Lioness.
Yeah, this is a very, very important game for team, the Lady Cranes of Uganda, because if you look at this game, we need to win to have a chance of going to the semi-final, and of which from the semi-final, we have a chance to go to the World Cup next year. And what a better way to do it? We're down at home, playing against our neighbors. Of course, we know Kenya, a very strong side when it comes to rugby. But we have the home advantage.
Against Kenya is always a derby between the two sides, but I think Uganda having got a good game against Zambia, I think we can also try to look at that very performance we had against Zambia to pull up ourselves against our neighbors Kenya, and of course Kenya also had a good game against Zambia. So but as a Uganda, I always look forward to see the Uganda rugby team win against Kenya and maybe progress to the next level in the Africa Women Rugby Championship.
The winner of tomorrow's game will also qualify to the next round of the Rugby Women's World Cup qualifiers. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
We've almost come to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. But before we leave you, let's have a recap of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, Parliament demands report on Uganda Police Force resource allocation. Police gates leads to the assailants who attacked Busika police post in Luweero district. 4 dead, 37 admitted in critical condition in Gulu City accident. And in sports, Uganda takes on Kenya in a Pool B decider rugby game tomorrow. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Mogalu Mohammed, and I am Rukiidi Kaiijanagoma. Wishing you good night. However, do remember that our second and final bulletin comes your way at 10 p.m. But for now, I'll leave you with Molen Kenyana with the weather updates.
Welcome to tonight's weather report. My name is Molen Kenyana. Now, we've had mostly cloudy weather across much of the country for today, with rains most especially across parts of the Western Strait as well as the Lake Victoria Basin. And we could be looking at a similar trend even for tomorrow, but we shall see that in our forecast, which will come in just a bit fast. Let's take a look at that satellite analysis for today. We're looking at part of the rainbow that is aligned mostly towards the Western Strait. That explains the rains that we have across Western Uganda. At the same time, we also have some of those moist easterly winds that are coming in from the Indian Ocean towards the country, and that is the combination that is bringing us rains, especially across the southern sector as well as parts of the Lake Victoria Basin. Now, forecast for tomorrow, we'll start off with rains across parts of Kampala as well as the western parts of Lake Victoria Basin, but much of Central will start off with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Across the western stretch, we do expect to have mostly sunny intervals with rains forecast for the Rwenzori area. And eastern Uganda, we do expect to start off with rains that will be across parts of Tororo as well as Jinja and Soroti, likely to start off with a mix of clouds and sunshine again. Across northern Uganda, we do expect most areas to start off with intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. Now, as we cross over into the afternoon, we do expect to have more rains developing across parts of Central. Quite a warm day forecast for Nakasongola at 27 and Kampala will be at 27 degrees. Now, looking at western Uganda, we also do expect us to have mostly rainy conditions for the Rwenzori area as well as midwestern Uganda, but quite a warm day's forecast for Mbarara. Temperatures will be at 28 degrees. Now we look at the eastern side. Also, we do expect to continue with those rains for Tororo and Jinja, and Soroti also likely to maintain a warm day. Temperatures will be rising at 29 with sunny intervals. Parts of northern Uganda, again, continuing with mostly a mix of clouds and sunshine, and quite a warm day for Karamoja. Temperatures will be rising up to 30 degrees. Now, some of the cities that we have for you across the world, we are forecasting sunny intervals that will be across Cairo as well as Washington. Quite a chilly day's forecast for Nairobi with rainy conditions. Temperatures will be at 25 degrees. That is it in terms of weather report for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Molen Kenyana, wishing you a good night.